Hi there, Dr. Gary here on the road. We sell dental practices nationwide. We are dental practice brokers. I was a dentist for 25 years, and now I've been doing the dental practice brokerage for 14 years. So we're having a good time where we are here. Now, let's get into today's topic. We'll call this Volume 2 of the motivated, aggressive seller. And this seller is on top of their game. You want a seller, you want to get your deals done and get them done properly, you follow the tracks of this seller. They really are tracking it. They really are on top of things. So let me explain what happened. The seller, unfortunately, is not using a dental attorney like I told him. So we're going to talk about what happened anyway. But this name of this series is Volume 2, The Aggressive Seller of a Dental Practice Gets the Processes Finished and Completed. Let's talk about this. So we're now in 22 states. We have 10 employees, including 2 CPA accountants. We're available to you 363 days a year. We only take off Christmas and Easter, but we have fun every day too. Now, you can reach us at 201-663-0935, or it's website is dentalpracticeguide.com or nationwidedentalpracticebrokers.com, 201-663-0935. Everything you're about to hear is for entertainment purposes. It's not legal or business advice. If you're going to sell to a DSO, big DSO, call us. We will get your, generally you'll get your, there's going to be no commission. We don't work for the DSOs, but we bring the ones in we think that are good, work out well for you. So we don't bring them in. That we will recommend them, but we do not work for them. We know who the good ones are. We work with them all the time. We know who's not going to closing, who has financial troubles, who's going through a merger because they're having trouble. We know. So hopefully you'll listen to us. We'll provide you with great information. Now, they will often pay a commission, so there's not going to be a commission to you. For these bigger sales, DSO sales, no commission. And if you work with us, we're going to get your legal fees reimbursed upon successful closing. So call us just based on some small criteria. All practices over $1 million or more, we're getting your legal fees based on some small criteria, reimbursed at successful closing. So I think we're the only brokers in the country doing that now. So give me a call and we'll tell you about it. All right, so this is Volume 2. We talked about this aggressive seller. It goes back to last Friday. The buyer's attorney had contacted the landlord. The landlord said, I got to have the final contract before I talk to you guys. So they opened up the lines of communication. Now, that contract was done on Friday of the previous week, okay? So what happened was, I was assuming that the buyer's attorney would have sent, it was a good attorney, dental attorney, he's a good guy, but he doesn't have a big staff. I was assuming they would have sent that contract immediately to the landlord, because we were trying to close in another 2 weeks, right? From that Friday last week, we were going to close in another 2 weeks. So we wanted this thing expedited. We assumed as soon as that contract was done, that was going right to the landlord. So I start checking on Thursday of this past week. This is like 6 days later. 6 days later. I said to the attorney, what's going on with the lease? Did you send the contract which was done last Friday? No, I'll give him a call. And I'm thinking, I'm freaking pissed now. Because we lost Friday, holiday came up, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I mean, you lost like 4 or 5 days, not including the weekend. I mean, this is a big problem. You can't lose time like that. I alert the buyer. The buyer alerts his attorney and says, hey, The attorney just this morning, Thursday morning, is sending the landlord the contract and communicating. So my seller says, I'm going to call the landlord, see if I can be of assistance. Landlord said, look, I heard from the buyer, the buyer's attorney. I tried to call him back. It wasn't available. So the seller calls me and says, can you call the attorney and tell him that the landlord is trying to reach out to him? Let's get, now this is on a Thursday. It's like every 2-3 hours, we got contact going back and forth with this aggressive seller. He says, did you call? I said, I left a message. He says, I'll call the landlord. Then he says, gets me back to me. The landlord spoke to me and said he spoke to the attorney. He's waiting for the lease, the contract to come through. I said, okay, now it's Thursday, so we're trying to hustle. The seller is calling his attorney and said, can you get on the buyer's attorney's back to make sure we get something done today, Thursday? All right. So on Thursday, finally, the landlord has the dental contract in his hand, which he wanted before he was going to negotiate the lease. Okay. Friday morning, boom, we're on it. We're contacting the seller. We're contacting the buyer. Stay on top of your attorney. You got to push him. We've got to get this landlord and him together and figure out what's happening with this, with the new lease now that he has the contract. So the seller's monitoring. This is every couple hours. He's calling me. I'm touching base with the attorney. I'm trying to help him out. Meanwhile, this is a rinky-dink deal, but I'm still trying to help out. And he is on top of it. The seller was on top of it. It was every few hours. Now, yesterday, Friday, the communication was going well. We finally got the landlord on board. The landlord's talking to the seller. He says, okay, I got it. I'm looking. I'm trying to figure out what we could do there. I'm trying to help you guys out. What kind of lease do they need? I think the buyer's attorney already laid out exactly what they're looking for. So please work with us. Landlord says, hey, you got to take care of me for my attorney. It's in the lease. Yes. I told the seller, you agree with him, get it taken care of. Get it taken care of. Get the lease, the fees for that. Excuse me, I need my sunglasses. Get that fees for the attorney, landlord's attorney, tell him to get it covered. So we got great communication going on with the seller, the landlord, the seller's attorney. He's moving. This seller was on top of his game. I know you're saying, well, I'll just let somebody else do that. I'm too busy with my patients. Why am I paying an attorney? We need your help on this. I told you the story 100 times. March 4th, 2020. I'm pushing for the closing. Everybody's telling me, take it easy. What's the big deal? Week here, week there. We got it closed. And what happened on March 11th? I've told this story many times. If those of you who haven't heard it, March 11th, 2020, the world shut down. COVID, bingo, everything went crazy. Shut everything down. We would have never closed. So March 4th, we closed. March 11th, the world shut down. 1 week. There's a reason I push all the time. But in this circumstance, I had help from the seller. He just kept staying on top of things. This is going to go through the weekend now. It's like 7:30 in the morning. We're going through the weekend, probably talking what's going on. Now, the landlord also offered to have the buyer inspect the premises so he can meet her, him, whatever it is, come and inspect the premises. We can't get through to the buyer, so we were texting last night, emailing. We'll text and email this morning also. Buyer, the landlord wants to show it to you. We don't want to wait till next week. You go in there and meet the landlord, make him feel comfortable, and so forth. Make the deal happen. So that should happen today. You can't just say, oh, they're going to get through, they're going to get together. No, get right on their case. This is where the seller is jumping on the case too. He's calling the buyer this morning or yesterday, and we'll be calling the buyer this morning. Did you get in touch with the landlord? Did you set up? The landlord wants to walk you through the place. Remember, there's an emotional thing here too. You want that landlord to feel comfortable with you as a buyer so he can make a lease that's fair. All right? So that's what's going to happen today. So it doesn't end. It is the proactive seller on top of their game, checking in with me every few hours, helping me, I'm helping them, And we're working together with the attorney to make that happen too. You got to stay on top of it. You just can't sit back on these things. And that's how it is to get these things done. And we don't want anything going wrong, and a lot could go wrong. So that's it. All right, team. Many more videos coming up. Have a great time. Have some fun. Get away this weekend. Get to the mountains. Go fishing. Go to the lakes. And, of course, make it to the beach. I'm here. Call me if you get down. We'll go out for a cocktail. Hit the subscribe button. And sign up for our... We got a new newsletter going out this week with all of our... a bunch of new practices for sale. But you got to sign up so you get them all. You get the detail from our spreadsheet. All right? So get on that if you haven't. I think we have 1,182 buyers on record now that we emailed to. They get the first dibs on all the new practices for sale. So get on that. It doesn't cost you anything, and we'll do an email blast. All right, team, we're there. I'm at my destination, and it's game on today. Bye now.